Hello everyone, welcome back to another Upgrade Your OET vocabulary quiz by Bose Learning. My name is Sona and your question today is all about the word wobbly. In fact, because we've been away for a little bit and working on other things like the OET criteria videos for you, which if you haven't already had the chance to watch, you'll be able to find on our playlist. We've got a special edition of the Upgrade Your OET quiz today and it's all about wobbly. And my question for you is this: spot the odd one out from these phrases. First one, a bit wobbly on my legs. 2, feeling a bit wobbly. And 3, she threw a wobbly. Which one is different? Well, as you can see by the line there, the first two use the word wobbly in a similar manner. And the third one uses it in a different way. It's an idiom, in fact. So just like the wobbly jelly we saw in the picture before, wobbly means unsteady. So it wibbles, it wobbles around, it's not steady, it's just like this jelly was. If you're feeling a bit wobbly on your legs, you're not walking steadily for whatever reason. If you're feeling a bit wobbly, it's more about being unsteady, not feeling so secure in yourself emotionally. So they both have a similar meaning. This is physical here, this is emotional. Whereas she threw a wobbly is very idiomatic. Nothing about throwing jellies, it's all about temper tantrums, going crazy. So what happens if a patient of yours comes to you with one of these problems? Well, to feel a bit wobbly on my legs, it could be a symptom of various things. I, of course, am not a healthcare practitioner. I'm an English teacher, so all my information comes from the NHS website, and you'll be able to see the link just on here. But one of the reasons why you could be feeling a bit wobbly on your legs is because of a condition called labyrinthitis and vestibular neuritis. We're going to be going through the information off the NHS website, and I'm just going to pick out a few bits of language and a few bits of pronunciation that you might find useful. So, labyrinthitis is an inner ear infection. So this pronunciation here, ear infection, which affects your balance, and it usually gets better within a few weeks. The common symptoms, of course, are dizziness, vertigo, feeling unsteady and off balance, so being a bit wobbly there. You might also be feeling sick or having a ringing sensation in your ears, and that's called tinnitus. The symptoms can start suddenly and they may wake you when you're lying down. Often it is quite horrible when you lie down. I've actually had this following a chest infection and it wasn't very nice at all. But don't worry, the symptoms often ease after a few days. They often get better by themselves, but if not, go and see your GP, of course. Things that you can do and things you can tell your patients to do are the following. Lie still in a dark room if you're feeling dizzy. So to lie still means to lie down quietly on your back and not move. Drink plenty of water if you're feeling sick. Drink little and often. That's a really nice binomial that we use. A binomial, two words that come together and are joined by the word and, little and often. Avoid noise and bright lights. Get enough sleep and start to go for walks as soon as possible. It often feels completely impossible to the patient to do this, but have someone there with you and it will give you confidence. It will help you to feel steady. When you're out and about, another lovely expression here, when you're out and about, when you're outside, keep your eyes focused on a fixed object rather than looking around all the time. One of the worst things I found was when I was trying to cross the road, and of course you're moving your head left and right, and it was horrible. So just try and keep your eyes focused. Of course, don't cycle, drive or use heavy machinery, and don't drink alcohol as it makes the symptoms worse. So that's one of the reasons why one of your patients might be feeling a bit wobbly on their legs. Now, what about the next expression? to feel a bit wobbly. Well, as we said, that's really connected to feeling not emotionally centered, feeling a little bit unsteady emotionally, internally. And of course, with the current pandemic, we know that healthcare professionals like yourselves have been suffering a lot from this. I found a lovely document by the Great Western Hospitals Trust, which is all about staff health and well-being. And something that's really interesting that has happened, that has been created over this pandemic, are rooms called wobble rooms. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of those before. But a wobble room is a designated space where healthcare professionals can just go and sit quietly. If there are colleagues there, they can share their worries, their strains, what they've seen during the day. They can verbalise emotions, so they can talk about what's been happening. They can have a little cry or just sit down quietly and be. Just a safe space for healthcare professionals who are feeling a bit wobbly to calm down a little bit and recenter themselves. Okay, what about this third one then, which was completely different? She threw a wobbly. If one of your patients is talking about their child, maybe their toddler, their young child, so a toddler is someone who's just started walking, around 2 years old, 2 or 3. Toddlers, you've got this idea of those little children who are a little bit unsteady on their feet again. And we have an expression called the terrible twos. So temper tantrums start at around 18 months and are very common in toddlers. Hitting and biting are common too. And we can talk about kids throwing a wobbly. So if you don't agree to doing something that they want to do, like going to the park, they can throw a wobbly. Now, the NHS tells us that one reason for this is that toddlers want to express themselves, but they find it difficult. They don't have enough language at that point. So they feel frustrated, and frustration comes out as a tantrum. So, some words to pronounce here: frustrated and frustration, tantrum. Once a child can talk more, they're less likely to have tantrums because they can verbalise their emotions a little bit better. The NHS website gives you some ideas on how to cope with tantrums, and these are some recommendations you can give to your patients as well. Find out why the tantrum is happening, understand and accept your child's anger. It's part of life, really, and you probably felt the same way yourself at times, but you've been able to express it in a more productive manner, perhaps. You can also find a distraction, so create something that will take their attention away from their anger. Distract them straight away. For example, look, a cat. Make yourself sound as surprised and interested as you can, so you divert their attention. You could wait for it to stop, because if you shout, it won't end the tantrum. Very difficult, I know. Ignore the looks you get from people around you and concentrate on staying calm. Don't change your mind. Don't give in. Give in here, nice phrasal verb, means to accept whatever the child wants. So the child wants a sweet, you say no. They throw a tantrum and you give in, you give them the sweet. No, don't do that. Just stay firm. Because if you change your mind, then the child gets accustomed to that and they think that they can throw a tantrum and get what they want. It also doesn't help to bribe them, to offer them something in exchange, like sweets for being quiet, because again, that creates a habit. If you're at home, try going into another room for a while and make sure that your child is safe, of course. Be prepared for these tantrums when you're out shopping. They often happen in shops, which can be embarrassing for the parents. And that, of course, makes it harder to stay calm. Keep shopping trips as short as possible and involve your child. Try holding your child firmly until the tantrums passes. That's another option as well. And this often helps when your child is more upset rather than angry. So upset, they're sad about something. Angry, they're frustrated. And then when they're calm enough to talk, you can gently reassure them. So some lovely expressions here to help your patients when a child is throwing a wobbly. And again, this is all from the NHS website. I hope you've enjoyed this 3-in-1 edition of our Upgrade Your OET vocabulary quiz. For more quizzes and help with your OET, why not try our on-demand medicine courses for writing and speaking, and an all professions course for reading. On Udemy, you'll be able to find the links below, which will give you a special discount on them. Thanks very much for watching, and see you again next time. Bye bye.